Council of Mothers, this is Carlin. How may I help you? Hello? Is someone there?
Yeah, Carlin.
Yes,
Hey.
This is Carlin. How may I help you?
Dude, what's going on?
I'm sorry. Did you? This is the Council of Mothers.
Come on, man. Come on. We haven't talked in a long time, and I really don't want you to waste my time. What's going on?
I'm sorry.
You call
I'm sorry.
me.
Sorry, I'm not trying to waste your time. Is there something I can help
Sir-
you with? Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
I'm just gonna hang up if you aren't gonna talk.
No, please don't hang up. I'd like to help you as best I can. Is there a different department within the Council of Mothers I can direct your call to? This is the Council of Mothers Department of
Council of
Refrigerators. Would you like to talk? We have other departments.
Damn it!
Oh,
What
excuse
the
me.
hell?
I'm sorry. No. Sorry. Please, sir, do not use.
You son
No,
of a
please,
bitch.
no, please, sir, do not use those words on this line. I'm going to have to probably disconnect you here if you keep talking like that.
After how many years
You're,
do we not talk? And I call you because I don't really know why. I don't really know why we're talking right now, other than I felt sorry for you. I just need to get something off my chest. But then I call you and you're playing games. You're still playing games.
I'm not really.
With the Council of Mothers of all people.
I'm not playing.
Is Bama Dog?
You know your voice sounds very familiar to me. Do we know each other?
A long time ago, we used to play dodgeball.
Dodgeball. Oh, dodgeball. I think I
Dodgeball.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
Aaron. Wow, it's good to hear from you. Wow,
Is
that's,
it?
Yeah, that's great. It's great to hear from you.
Well, I don't want to bother you while you're at work. By all means.
No.
Who calls the
you're not-
Council
no
of
bother,
Mothers
no
hotline?
bother. How are things going? How are you doing?
Who calls the Council of Mothers hotline?
Yeah,
Do you get a lot of calls?
we do get a lot of calls here at the Council of Mothers. There's a lot
From
of
mothers?
things that mothers can help with.
It's weird calling a Council of Mothers hotline and getting a man.
Yeah, they're so they've been there for me. These last few years have been trying. You know, since we last talked. Look, I don't even really want to.
Who's they?
Oh, I don't even really want to talk about it. It's been a trying time.
Okay,
you know, with the whole
Yeah, I bet.
Sailor Sam thing,
What do
and
you mean
how
this-
that all went down, and I got really bad. It got really bad, and the Council of Mothers, they found me and they've helped me out. They've given me a place to be, and it's been great. And so I was wondering today if you would like to make a donation.
Make a donation, or you gotta be shitting me.
Please don't. Please don't say words like that on the Council of Mothers phone line.
I don't hear from you for years. Listen, I get it. Sailor Sam shut us down. I've been trying to occasionally text you, follow you, social media, what have you.
Right.
And I this whole facade of the Council of Mothers, I'm not buying it, man. Listen.
Facade? No.
Facade.
Sorry.
I think the whole reason that you asked me to call you, or I guess I thought you were hinting for me to call you, was because you're working for Sailor Sam.
No, never.
I have a hard time believing you. Council of Mothers? That sounds like something that they own.
No, Council of Mothers have been around for a long time. A long time.
Who are the biggest donors?
The biggest donors? There's all kinds of donors. You know, big politicians and corporations and
Yeah.
religious organizations and all kinds of groups that donate to the Council of Mothers, and that way the mothers can get out there and they can help in different causes. Like I said, I'm specifically, the department I'm in is refrigerators. So we're out there trying to make refrigerators safe, because that's what, mothers want to make sure refrigerators are safe.
You know what? I don't care.
Someday,
the only reason I'm calling you is that there's a new Bond film. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember that James Bond?
I remember that.
It fit neatly into your Council of Mothers films that you can watch.
Yeah, I kind of.
Are you kind of out of it?
I just kind of,
Listen, man.
We don't talk about James Bond. We just don't talk about James Bond here at the Council of Mothers. So I just, don't.
You've gone from talking nothing but James Bond to talking about anything but James Bond.
Well, I don't know if you remember how
it's been 6 years, Carlin.
I know.
6 years since a Bond movie came out, and you don't. This movie has gotten me through this past couple years, and I call you, and I'm thinking, man, we're going to talk about James Bond. I pray that we can talk about James Bond, and he's not a pawn for Sailor Sam, and here you are acting like you don't know me, that you don't work for Sailor Sam, you don't watch James Bond. Who are you?
Well, I mean, do you remember how things?
Who are you?
Do you remember how things went down 3 years ago when Sailor Sam, I can't even say, I hate saying his name. All that went down, and then he sold off everything to Bames Jonding, and then Bames Jonding shut us down.
We don't name names.
We can't even talk about
name names.
We can't even talk about James Bond. We were forbidden from talking about James Bond, and
contractually forbidden.
Yeah,
yes, I know.
And so now you kind of got me worried. I'm worried for you that you're reaching out to me, and that's all you seem to want to talk about. If you want to talk about let's talk about the old days.
Well, what about your texts? What about your? What do you mean me reaching out to you? You were cryptically texting me. Was that not you?
It was me. It was hey, how's Scott doing? What's up with him? Is he doing good?
Scotty, it's been years. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say about Scotty.
Hey, hold on, real quick. Yeah. Yes, Claudia.
Claudia, is this the new QK?
Yeah. Well, so you would need to use the form 12,
boy.
And then you would take
apologize
the form
to our
12,
listeners.
fill it out. You don't have to.
I really don't know
have
what's
to fill
going
out
on.
page 3, unless it's a Kenmore. If it's a Kenmore, then you got to fill out all of page 3, and then you'll take it over to Francine.
Excuse me.
Francine.
Carlin.
Hey, Aaron, hold on real quick. This is important.
Excuse me.
You take the form 12 over to Francine. She's there in the corner office. Yep. And then she'll need to review it, and then you can take it on upstairs. Yeah? Okay. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to help. Yeah, thank you. All right, sorry about that, Aaron. Claudia needed help with something. Claudia's one of my coworkers.
Do you want to bring... Does she answer phone calls too?
Sometimes, yeah. We all take turns. We all take turns answering the phones, and sometimes we are filling out forms. Sometimes we're
get it together, man.
I've got it together. I've got it together
Did you
more
watch
now
the
than I
new James Bond?
ever have in my whole life.
Well, good for you. Some of us didn't come out the other end so on top of it like you are.
I know that when that high school kid who's now in college, when that documentary did finally get released, that was an embarrassment to you, and I'm sorry about that. Okay, I'm very sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, you didn't have to live with the negative press, the phone calls, hounding me.
The letters, you get letters, I'm sure.
Listen, I still get letters.
Yeah.
I'm sure you still get letters.
I don't get letters. No one.
And I hate having to send a reply saying cease and desist, please, this does not exist. And I know in my heart of hearts that it does. But I'm contractually obligated to send a response letter saying that I cannot talk about James Bond.
Right.
I cannot talk about James Pod. And This one from Janice.
It's fan mail from Janice.
I kept this one. I sent her.
Oh, hey, how's Janice doing? I forgot all about Janice. Oh, it's great.
Well, I've gotten a couple, but this is the one that really hits home.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to hear how
This is just to me, remember, because Janice.
Yeah.
We have an unspoken bond, unspoken language that we.
I'd be careful. Yeah, I would say unspoken language instead of bond, just because I would be careful. You and me saying the word bond right now. Just because.
Well, you just did. You just did.
Okay, just be careful.
Maybe if we put some hashtags and some underscores before bond or after bond.
That's a different group of guys.
Well, maybe I should be talking to them.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready for this letter?
I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
This may not be Council of Mothers approved.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Here, let me just if you could just whisper it then, or just talk soft. Just talk soft.
Dearest Aaron, hang in there. Signed, Janice.
Oh wow. I think what really makes
No,
it
I know
me,
what you think. You think that's something sweet. Something. It's not.
Even with her saying dearest, or is that the part that makes it not sweet?
She knows that I'm going through an intense time.
Right.
The podcast was everything.
Yeah.
And that's her way of yelling at me. And there's few people in my life, not including you, that understand and give me the support that I need. And I can't lose Janice. I can't lose more people like her. So Janice, if you're listening, I understand, and I'm getting better, and we're gonna work this out. And I'm sorry that Carlin is letting you down right now.
I think I was always letting Janice down.
I'm working on it, and I don't know if he can be helped. I'm talking to Janice right now. Carlin.
But you called me.
I got the mic.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. Talk to Janice.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
Okay.
Done.
Okay.
Just like you've been done. Did you even see the new James Bond movie?
I mean, there's a. Are we allowed to go to the movie theaters now? I can't keep up with what's going on.
James Bond. I'm saying it. James Bond. Listen, if they come after me, I've got nothing to lose. They can come after me.
It was so hard, Aaron. I mean, I couldn't talk about James Bond. It was my whole life for so long. We were the two experts. Then everything happened, and then we lost the podcast. We lost the ability to talk about James Bond, and I just got into a bad place. And now, I'm just wondering maybe if I'm just better without James Bond in my life.
What could take the place of James Bond?
I mean, the work that we do here at the Council of Mothers is so good. I just think about the time when I started watching James Bond all those years ago, back in 1995, and my first movie was GoldenEye, starring Pierce Brosnan, and then moving all the way up through that and becoming an expert, and that's kind of how it's been for me these last
that
years.
That can be debated now.
Is I started not an expert, but then over time. Give me more years here, and I will be a Council of Mothers expert.
This is like the opposite of James Bond. You know that, right? What would James Bond do if he ran into the Council of Mothers?
I cannot say that. out loud here.
What is the Council of Mothers response to the James Bond films?
I could not say that out loud.
This is like we're in the Hays Code era of films again, and you here, are you trying to censor James Bond? Is that what's going on here?
No, I'm not even in that department. I'm in the refrigerators department. Now, maybe someday, if I do good work and I...
Refrigerators?
Yeah, refrigerators! Sorry, I'm sorry. They're telling me to be quiet. Refrigerators. Yeah, refrigerators. Because there's different departments with the Council of Mothers. So I'm not in the department that's trying to do anything about...
So all those voices I hear in the background, all those voices, those are... presumably ladies talking to people asking about refrigerators.
Talking about, yeah. This is the refrigerators department. Council of Mothers.
So it's like
refrigerators.
But you don't repair refrigerators. You don't sell them. It's just conversations about refrigerators.
It's about things that we can do with or to refrigerators so that the Council of Mothers is happier with them.
So is a big part of your job going like across the nation to trade shows to see different types of refrigerators?
We haven't been doing a lot of travel in the last several months, Aaron. Just like I haven't,
Do you see Bama Dog?
I haven't been going to movies.
Do you see Bama Dog? Do you remember Bama Dog?
I have not kept up. Aaron, I know that I've been a poor.
What's he doing? Is he
friend?
there?
I've been a poor friend.
Is he there?
No, he's
You sound
not.
scared.
No, I'm not scared. I feel bad.
Scared.
I've been a poor friend to you. I've been a poor friend.
Dog,
and,
are you
I haven't kept up with the old gang. I haven't
listening?
kept up with the Alabama Dog. I haven't kept up with Kevin Hart. I'm talking about the
What'd
janitor,
you do to Bama
not
Dog?
the comedian.
When was the last time you watched Skyfall?
I haven't watched a James Bond movie in so long, Aaron.
Have you had a James Bond sandwich?
Ham,
turkey?
pickle, pumpernickel, mayo. What kind of sandwich would it be?
No, I haven't. I haven't had a sandwich.
Listen, I feel like you need to go to like James Bond rehab.
No, man, I'm good. I'm in such a good spot. I'm in a good spot. It's me, like I spent time with my manager Francine, and we talk it over, and she tells me, she like asks me like what are my thoughts on something, and then I give her my thoughts, and then she's like,
oh, like the James Bond movie.
well, that was early on. Like early on, she was like, what are your thoughts on this? And I'd say like what my thoughts were, and then she would tell me I was wrong to think that, and she would then tell me like what was right, what was the right way of thinking. And so it's just really kind of broken me down, and it's a process, and so it's just me kind of going through growing. I've gone through some training here to help me eventually.
Okay, nobody really cares about this. Nobody really cares about this. You understand we're recording this, right?
I don't. Yeah, I guess I didn't. Yeah, I just thought you were calling me to check in on me.
Yeah, but we do that via podcast,
okay.
Right?
Yeah,
that's what the fans deserve.
The fans.
Are we not publishing this?
I don't know. I didn't know. I thought we weren't going to do
we
that
have
anymore.
Fans, Carlin. There's a new James Bond movie out. They expect us to delve into it, to rip it apart, get into the nitty-gritty of it. And here you are, letting everybody down. The Bond movies come out, the makers of it, Daniel Craig, they are sitting there, waiting. They can't go on with their days. People can't go see this movie until we have talked about it. The box office is suffering now. Thousands of people's jobs. And here you are talking about the Council of Mothers?
Yeah.
Give me a f***ing break.
I don't know what to say, Aaron. It's been
all right.
It's just been hard. It's been a hard time. It's been hard for you.
Well, it's been hard for me. It's been hard for me.
Good. I'm sorry that it's been tough for you, and I sorry.
You don't
I
even
haven't been
know.
there
You
for
don't even know
and-
you don't even know what's happened recently.
What's
this past year?
What's happened to you?
You know my multi-potty award-winning cat, Toby.
I remember Toby. How's Toby doing?
Toby died.
Oh, Aaron, I'm so. Oh,
And-
I walked right into that one.
And you know, I wish I could say it was a surprise. We've had a lot of support, a lot of fan letters, a lot of flowers, arrangements sent to us, and you know, thank you to all those fans. But the Potty Awards have been badgering us to get. They want his trophies. They want those statuettes for a museum. And I'm not ready to give those up. So it's been hard. It's been hard here losing Toby. We got the Potties. The Potties have been hounding us. That's just the tip of the iceberg. You know, losing my source of inspiration. It's been difficult.
You lost. Wait, I thought you said there was a new James Bond movie, but you lost your source of inspiration.
I meant my source of inspiration to continue with my dream of being a Potty Award-winning podcaster.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
And he was always encouraging me to stick with it, to get you back on board. And I would say, Toby, you don't understand. Carlin is MIA. Carlin, I can't talk to him. I can't think about him. And Carlin, he's going. I assume he's going through his own stuff. I assumed you were having a tough time, but now I'm learning that the Council of Mothers have brainwashed you, and you can't even talk or think about James Bond. So, you know, I don't even know what to say to you. Maybe we should just hang up.
No, let's not hang up. I'm glad to get this time to chat. I mean, I want to hear how things are going.
Well, you probably have other calls. I don't want to get you fired.
No, I mean, I think I'll be all right. No one's. I mean, we just kind of like every so often I may ask you about donating. Okay, I may just
let me
pepper that in, and I don't mean Sheriff Pepper.
Nobody cuts and runs on Sheriff J.W. Pepper.
I just mean, like I'll pepper that into the conversation.
Okay. Tell me, what's the best refrigerator model on the market right now?
Oh, then there's some great Maytag models out there that the safety features are fantastic.
Yeah.
So if you want, I can send you some literature. If you want to sign up for our newsletter, we can have those tips. I mean, I could tell you, but I'd really rather get your email address so I can add you to.
Do they serve Peppy? Is there like a Peppy refrigerator?
So that's one of the things that was great about this is, when they brought me on board, they were really interested.
Guess, Peppy is not Council of Mother approved.
No, like they were really like interested in like what I had to say early on.
Cocaine.
And I was like, we should get Peppy for the coffee in the break room. And they're like, yeah, we'll and they've considered it. I mean, they've considered it.
They've considered.
Yeah.
So they haven't done it.
No, not yet, but they've told me they're
how
going to
can you
consider
work?
it.
How can you work for a company that doesn't have Peppy?
I mean, it's tough, it's hard, but they're the ones who would have me, They're the ones. They would have me.
Currently wearing my Heart Peppy shirt. Because I know that they will eventually sponsor this podcast.
They'll go from an unofficial sponsor to an official sponsor of a podcast that doesn't exist. The podcast doesn't exist, Aaron.
We're recording. What do you think we're doing right here, right now?
I don't know. It
we're
feels
recording.
like you're in some kind of like weird. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I'll keep it down.
I'm trying to get some answers.
Sort of weird fantasy land.
Carlin, there's a new James Bond movie that just came out. No Time to Die.
Yeah,
Did you see it? Did you see it? You can tell me truth. Tell me truth. You can speak in code. Can you tell me something about Kenmore's ice dispenser if you have seen No Time to Die?
I can't. I can't talk.
If you haven't seen No Time to Die, tell me about the Whirlpool
Aaron.
in-screen technology.
Aaron, James Bond was like, it's so tough. Oh, Aaron,
What's going on over there?
Are you okay?
Yeah,
You having
I'm
a panic
okay.
attack?
I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah, no, fine. Just I think it was
Is that
something
Claudia?
I ate. I'm good. It's just it's passing now.
You need some Pep B.
Ignore him and get back to work.
You sound a little off, Carlin.
Lots of people waiting
You sound a little tired, a little worn down.
Just get back to work.
Okay. What were you asking about? You were asking about refrigerators, yes?
Yes.
Well, I tell you what, the best thing to do is to sign up for our newsletter, and we'll send you all the information about refrigerators that you could ever.
I don't want the f***ing newsletter.
Please watch Please watch the words that you're using.
Watch the words. As my 7-year-old son would say, I can't see words, Dad.
How is Sean, Roger, Timothy,
You don't even know his name.
Pierce?
You forgot.
I can't remember. I just know you named him after the different Bond actors, and I just can't remember all the Bond actors'
can't-
names.
You went from a co-champion of 007 Seen It
007. Seen it.
to this.
Okay, I do
And
remember.
this is sad.
I do remember that I freaking won double. I'm so.
Excuse me.
I'm so sorry. That was just a complete accident. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look,
We both
look,
won.
Aaron,
We both
freaking won
both
007
won.
Seen It. You know that. You know I won that game. There's
You came all the way to Nebraska, and you think you won?
We'll call Francine if we
There's a recording
In my house.
There's a recording of that.
Go back and listen to it.
game, and we can
Game.
pull it up.
You came
right
to my house
the
to
now.
play my game,
Francine,
and you're gonna sit here and pretend that you won.
Okay, I mean, I know that you were always like, we all won, blah blah blah. It was me that won, but we don't have to debate. I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to pull up these old arguments again.
Sounds like you do.
It's good to hear from you,
Yeah.
and I'm glad you reached out, and I hope everybody's doing well. And oh my goodness, yes, I watched
what
the
is happening right now?
James Bond movie that came out in the theaters. I've gone and seen it, Aaron. I saw it. I couldn't help
Whoa.
myself.
Keep taking calls. Keep
Carlin,
Yes,
lower your
I
voice.
saw the movie.
take care of it.
Oh,
Just please.
it feels so good to say that.
do this.
Oh,
Yes. Francine, we're gonna need.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead and call security as well.
He's back, everyone.
oh boy.
And I would go ahead and.
Yeah, I saw it,
Okay.
man.
You saw it.
Of course I saw it. I'm a
did you-
James Bond expert. I gotta go see it.
I know he's being loud. We will take care of it.
What am I supposed to do? Just sit like there's a fucking pandemic, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna go see James Bond. James Bond is the cure for the coronavirus. So yeah, I'm gonna go see it.
Hell yes. You can bleep that all out all you want, Council Mothers.
Oh, we will.
They are so mad at me right now.
Their bleeping machine is
You can
burning up.
You can actually hear them. They've gotten, it's like a hush, but they are staring at me right now. All the glares.
You better get the hell out of there.
I think I'm probably gonna
get out of there, Carl.
I'm probably gonna be
Get
fired.
out. Get out.
Do you want me to get out of there?
You need to get out right now.
Well, the problem is the headset is attached to so I can't actually get out. I'm
Okay.
attached. But
Well,
I think
then-
I see Francine. She's calling somebody. So
you
I
have a
probably
door?
have a little bit before
Are
security
you in a
shows
cubicle?
up. Yeah, I'm
Do
in
you
like
have
a
a door?
little cubicle with a little tiny window. It doesn't go to outside. It just goes to another cubicle.
Okay. So you watched James Bond.
Did you see it?
Mr. I don't know anything about James Bond. Now he's watching it.
Did you see the James Bond movie?
Finally, did I see the James Bond movie? Yes, of course. Of course.
You know what we should do? I have an idea.
I've had this circled on my calendar for years.
How many circles have you had to have on your calendars?
It's been like 8. When will this movie come out?
I got an idea. I got a brilliant idea, Aaron. We should record a podcast about it.
What? Are you sure that's okay? Can you talk about it right now?
You know what?
I'm still mad at you. I don't know if I should trust you. I don't know if you're just not talking about this because you want to get me in trouble with Bames Jonding.
You know what? Bames Jonding. Let's record it. Let's record it. Let's go.
Okay. If they come breaking through my door to come get me, I'm blaming you, and you will rot in eternal hell.
Okay, well, just be careful with the words that you're saying.
Is that a threat?
No.
Are you threatening?
I don't want them to hang up. I don't want them to hang up on the line.
I really feel like Bames Jonding is like the Spectre organization here, or should I say Sailor Sam?
or do you even want to be Spectre after seeing this movie? I don't think I would want to be Spectre.
I guess. Hey, before we get too far, we need to say that there's spoilers. I don't know what to make out about anything. But I'm glad Spectre is, well, not as it seemed.
What did you think about this James Bond movie?
Or it's exactly how it seemed. Spectre was just... Listen, I know you had Infinity for Spectre, the film, and the organization, probably, because you're a loyal Council of Mothers type person. Easily influenced, easily swayed. But it took Spectre and it threw it in the trash. No time to die, threw it in the trash, where it belonged, and it made quick work of this retconning nonsense, as it should have. It made me quite pleased, and the moments that Spectre did come out, I was like, okay. It was in such a way that I'm like, I can deal with this. I can understand this. I feel like I'm talking in code here. Can you even talk about it right now?
I don't feel like it actually undid the retcon of Spectre, but it just got rid of Spectre, so it didn't fix, any problems that you might have had with the movie Spectre of like everything you knew about James Bond was wrong. That still existed, and even the whole
everything you knew about James Bond.
Actually, James Bond's adopted half brother, something or like that, was still there.
Skyfall? We're gonna ruin Skyfall for you to make Spectre make sense.
And so, instead of trying to make more sense of it, they're just like,
James Bond
instead of there being Spectre
standalone films.
I think the thing about Spectre, the movie, was like,
to make Spectre
there was an organization called Quantum, and behind Quantum was
another
Spectre.
organization.
And for a little while, in this movie, I was like, and behind Spectre. And I was like, are we doing this again? But we weren't. It was just like, there's actually the enemy of Spectre, and they're worse.
How can we top? Yes, when everything has to be related, like the new villain has to keep one upping the other villain, and it's stupid. It's just a contest of villains. So then we have contest of villains, and we have contest of double O's.
Yeah.
I like it.
Although I
like
liked the 00 thing. I liked that there was.
I liked it too.
Okay.
I liked it too.
Okay,
liked it a lot.
I liked that.
What I'm saying about Spectre is, yes, it didn't get rid of the retcon because we still have, we still have characters throughout the entire movie from Spectre, obviously dealing with the remnants or the PTSD of Spectre and all this stuff. I'm like, okay, fine. You can roll in Blofeld all you want, but Blofeld gone in 30 seconds? Fan-tastic. Let's move on. Let's not linger. Let's not let this linger. Yes. So I was indeed a fan of not necessarily building on this mythology of what Spectre was, but letting it go or moving beyond it. It's been 6 years. It's been 6 years.
I think what they did was they focused on the right things in this movie. They had the complicated plot in this, I still felt like. Especially, and here's where I thought it was really complicated.
For a 3-hour movie? It's a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
Of course, it's complicated. It's complicated.
I know, but where a guy was like...
James Bond is a complicated man.
They go to save this. They go to rescue the scientist, and the scientist rescues James Bond, and then he's like trying to kill James Bond, and I'm like, wait, well, I don't understand what happened here.
The scientist may be my favorite part of that movie. It was very I am invincible callback.
Boris.
Right?
He had a
Boris
aspect,
is like one of my favorite parts of GoldenEye. I thought No Time to Die was a very funny movie. I don't know if you did you?
I don't know if it was very funny. There was some humorous moments. I wouldn't say it was like a very funny movie.
I thought I laughed maybe more during No Time to Die than any other Bond film
Ever?
Especially with M. Like. It was weird because Ray Fiennes is playing him as this especially for the first half of the film, as this very this curmudgeon-y, bitter man. I just thought it was hysterical, and I don't care if it was meant to be hysterical or not, but I loved it.
I wasn't amused. That's funny. I didn't think it was funny.
I thought it was funny because it was playing off like the world without James Bond was so dour, which is just fun. I don't know. I just thought it was funny. I appreciated the humor. I appreciated the inclusion of humor without making it like a really cheesy Marvel movie where like every line is sarcastic and jokey.
Right.
If that makes sense. Like it still kept it a James Bond movie, high octane action, sophisticated, but like every scene had injections of humor except for poor Madeline Swan, who I don't think she had one moment of levity in the entire film. Her entire character is like, I'm so scared, I'm so distressed 24/7, which I get it. Like, she plays that role, she plays it well, but I felt bad because every other character has like really good, humorous, humane features that is just like, it was enjoyable. And like bringing in Felix.
Yeah, I was glad. I was so glad to see Felix again.
Yes, and it was just heart-wrenching. What happens with Felix, right?
Yeah, I agree.
I thought it was a great sort of like emotional motivator for Bond in this movie.
I agree. I think that, like I was saying, the plot was complicated. Yes, and I think you could have, the writers could have said, let's really make this make more sense and really make it work and really lean into trying to make this plot heavy. Instead, they're like, yeah, we're just going to have it going on in the background. Whatever needs to happen plot wise is going to happen. But what the real focus is on this is the character development, the character interactions, the relationships. So if you had done so much more plot than like typical Bond movie, you would have had instead of having this scene where like Felix and Bond are on this ship and Felix has been shot and all like this great moment between them, it wouldn't have carried the weight if it was like, let's really make this an interesting Bond plot. I think that they focused on the right things in this movie. It was so enjoyable because the characters were there, the performance was there. I think this is probably Daniel Craig's best performance as Bond, though.
I agree.
So
I agree.
atypical. He was not really acting like Bond in this.
Well, once he becomes well, for most of the movie he's not Bond, right? Like he loses that 007,
Right.
and we get to see him without that. In a lot of ways, a lot of our main characters are acting out of character, right? And that's why I thought M was funny, and based on the previous movies that Ray Fiennes was portraying M.
Well, I think like Q and Moneypenny were even a little bit off as well. So I get what you're saying. They were no longer who they were when Bond was a part of that team.
You're right. The world's moved on, and people have changed. And what happens when you sort of interject Bond back into it? And we've seen this plot before. Bond sort of going away, and then being brought back. Skyfall. People weren't sure he was dead. He comes back, and it's a surprise. But that's just a matter of what, days or weeks.
It was a matter of, and within the movie, it's just a matter of minutes. Here, it's quite a bit of time of the movie. I was thinking about that too, with even say something like License to Kill. It's like, James Bond, your license is revoked, and then 5 minutes later he's got it back.
So actually like this, that it was this came out 6 years after the fact, and there's a big moment in the movie that's like 5 years later, right?
Yeah,
which is just really funny because I'm not sure there's ever been a Bond movie that's like 5 years later. I saw that, I'm like, I laughed in the theater when I saw it, because I'm like, it makes sense though, right?
Well,
because
GoldenEye had that. GoldenEye had that at the beginning.
Oh, you're so right.
It had. I think it was 8 years later. I think
You're so right.
The difference in time.
And then we had discussion. Is this taking place during Dalton's Bond?
Right.
Is this Roger Moore's Bond?
Right.
Okay. So I stand corrected. But still, I thought that time jump was, and I know this movie's supposed to come out last year, right? And COVID happened and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. But I think it coming out now, and maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. I think it is a really great movie for 2021. Especially with the prophetic plot of this virus that's coming out, and all of the ways it's transmissible, and quarantining people, and all. And I'm like, holy, this movie is supposed to come out last year. Like, this was all made prior to COVID, and it coming out now with Bond sort of like having I won't say a midlife crisis, because Daniel Craig's in his
he was
50s,
like he's like 55 or 56, and when he made it,
right?
Yeah.
But this is like where he's like coming to terms with like what's important in his life, and we've seen we've seen Bond in this stage before, right? Whether it's On Her Majesty's Secret Service, what have you. But in this movie, it felt like it was for real. It wasn't just like a brief moment of or a lapse in judgment or something like that. Like, he was for real there to protect and to save. And that's why I thought the ending was so well earned and quite touching. I like when he's going up that ladder and he's on the phone, I'm like, this is the antithesis of the boat makeout scene. Right? In every other Bond movie, he would have been on the boat making out while the missiles go and blow up the base, the villain's base. But this is the choice to have him leave and go, and I get it, we're in a woke society in 2020, whatever you want to, we can talk about that later. But I thought it was so well earned to have him like being sacrificed, the anti-boat makeout scene.
He even sends them off on a boat.
Right.
And I was like, well, could you quickly get in the boat, make out, and then hop back out of the boat?
I so wanted to be able to check mark that at the end of the movie. But no, he's talking to them on the phone while they're on an island. I just wanted them to be like, you're supposed to be on the boat with us making out. What's going on?
Right.
Anyway. Yeah, and it didn't go so much into Well, we just see glimpses of Madeline's background, right? We only see glimpses of our main villain's, Rami Malek's background. But I didn't feel like it wasn't justified at all, because the whole movie's about secrets, right? And the history, and it's so much of like what I wanted Spectre to be. Is like, stop trying to explain everything to me. Right? You can allude to somebody being evil and bad and not give them a monologue of like all this exposition that I don't really care about.
But yeah, the only time that really happens is when Bond and Rami Malek have their scene together in the big giant room that's got the like trap door, and
yes, I love that.
And I was like, that's nice. Like, we can have that scene. Like, give me just one though. Like, I don't need 40 scenes in this thing explaining stuff to me. Let's just have one where the villain's like, see how we're the same. And from that standpoint, he winds up being a better Blofeld than this series Blofeld was.
I absolutely agree.
I still do feel like that Rami Malek's character was a little underdeveloped, but I say that saying I didn't really need more of him.
Right, I agree. Yeah, there is not a whole lot of explanation, but on the other hand, it's like, because he feels so familiar, like a Blofeld type character, that I don't. Us as audience members is like, this is Bond 25. Like, I already know everything I need to know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right.
I already know everything I need to know. He wants to take over the world. He wants to kill the world with the virus. Okay, say no more.
Right. Especially you and me as Bond experts, we know everything we need to know. But even the standard audience is going to know everything they need to know.
Right. Well, okay, and like the fact that the backstory, him going to Madeline's house or her as a child, looking for her father, is a Spectre agent, and sort of seeking revenge. Like that was a nice personal touch. And that's what I cared about more than like what his grand scheme was with the science and the virus and the plants and everything like that. Like, that was all nice decoration.
Yes.
But what you really care about is that he has a personal connection with this woman because of this really horrific event that happened in her life, and he's now basically torturing her,
right?
And her child, who is Bond's child, which is like double whammy.
What? James Bond Jr.'s got a sister?
James Bond Jr.'s got a sister. Okay, that actress though they got for the little girl.
Yeah.
Gosh, they. Impeccable casting, because she looked just like Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
I had to look up later. I'm like, is that Daniel Craig and Rachel Weisz's actual daughter? Because it looks just
is it actually Daniel Craig's eyes CGI'd onto a girl or something?
Oh, it could be. That would be really freaky. But yeah, I thought she was great.
I want to take a quick little side track here.
Are we doing a break? Are we doing a sponsor break?
No. It's like I want to still talk about the James Bond movie, because that's all I talk about, man. That's all I talk about.
Are they still looking at you over there?
Yeah, I think I see them collecting some boxes. I'm assuming they're going to come over here and have me pick up my things or some paperwork. I think that I'm going to be asked to leave, but they're just getting all their.
Do you have Are all your other lines busy right now? People trying to call you, talk about fridges?
Well, my line, I've got you. I do see other people calling in, but
okay. Well, if you need to take another call,
I want to talk about Ana de Armas, Paloma.
Hilarious.
I loved her so much, and I was like, and my impression from marketing and stuff was like she would be in this movie a lot more.
Yes.
I thought the character was awesome. I would have gladly taken more of her character in this movie. I also like that she wasn't. It was like, here's this character. That's all you get. I kind of want a spinoff. I want a spinoff movie with this character.
Well, I fully expected from the marketing. I thought she was going to be one of the 2 or 3 Bond girls, like in every Bond film, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought her character was hysterical and really well done. And her scene sequence with Bond, as him as the old sort of retired rugged secret agent, her as the fresh freshly trained agent. Very well done, and it was funny, and it wasn't like giving her the physical features or attributes to like that wasn't believable, if that makes sense. How some secret agents are, well, like there's no way she would beat up 25 guys at a time, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. She the sequence with the 3 that she like takes down and shoots and like that was like
well choreographed,
Yeah.
and I just it was believable, but it was funny. And I thought the directing in that sequence is probably my favorite directing in the entire film, because it was going through there's multi scenes going on at the same time, right? I thought it was just well executed.
Yeah, that was a great sequence. The whole thing. I mean, I don't think there'll be any kind of spin-off movie with her, and we should probably.
We have the future 007, right? I bet she'll come back. She'll be the new Felix. It's gonna happen. You know it's gonna happen.
Well, you kind of alluded to it, but James Bond gets gets killed in this movie.
Spoilers.
You already gave the spoiler warning. So James Bond.
I just wanted to hear our little bumper.
Again? You want a second time? Okay.
Like spoilers.
So let me ask you this question. I know you're a James Bond fan. Did you do what I did?
Expert, co-champion.
Did you say through the entire end of the credits to see what it would say at the end of the movie? To see what it would say. To see if, in fact, it would say,
okay,
James Bond will return.
You're calling me out because we had a babysitter, and we were, because the movie's almost 3 hours, we were in a rush to get home. And typically I stay through every credits of every movie I see. And this movie, I did not.
Okay. It does say at the end,
did you?
Specifically, James Bond will return. It was like the credits end.
It does say that?
Yeah, it does. It says all that.
What?
The copyright stuff comes up, and I'm like, oh, it doesn't say that. And then, boom, pops up right at the end, James Bond will return. I was like, all right. Didn't say 007 will return. Didn't say James Bond will come back in some fashion. It was like, James Bond will return. So I see this as the end of this whole sequence. We're not going to have Ray Fiennes back, I would guess.
Why? Why do you say that?
I just think we're.
They're done.
I just think they're done. I think when they come back, whenever that is, it's going to be like we're starting over from scratch. I don't know what that looks like. I don't want to talk about that.
I can see Ray Fiennes going because he kind of botched this whole situation, right? Like this is all pretty much his doing.
Yeah.
The whole plot, all right, the whole weapon.
Yeah,
so
the whole thing.
I can see that as his like going away or send off.
Yeah, but I just think it's another reboot we're looking at. I don't think it's like the same cat. I don't think Ben Crenshaw and everything. I think it's this universe, this Earth.
So you're saying they're going to cast a whole new James Bond male, and
I didn't say a male. I don't know what's going to happen. It just says James Bond will return.
Okay.
But they kill off James Bond in this one. All right, I want to know, did you see it coming? Did you think that was what was going to happen?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, me too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind.
There was no doubt in my mind.
I was so happy.
When Felix was killed, I was like, that's for sure now. And then when his daughter shows up, I was like, 200% Bond is done.
Yeah. Okay. I guess what I didn't like about Spectre was that, it's making a Bond universe rather than standalone Bond films, right? So when this movie was announced and being made, and right before, as I'm watching it, I quickly realized that, I want Bond to die here. Right? Because if you're making a cinematic universe, there's got to be some closure. Especially if you're dealing with recasting and everything that Bond has done over the decades. I thought I needed it, and it was sweet. It was nice. I've liked Bond for so many years because of its refusal to acknowledge like previous Bonds or the fact that it's the same character with different casts, with just different setups and different eras. You're right. You can sort of transplant Bond into different eras of different technology and all these different things that we've talked about. Whether it's, what did we say? It's, on Planet 2.
Oh, Earth
2.
I think this is Earth 4, maybe?
Earth 4.
Yeah.
This is Earth 4 Bond, right? Where Bond has his own universe and will then die. No, I like that. I like that Bond died. What that means for the future of the franchise, I think it's a healthy question to ask, right? Like, what can the studio do differently so that do we need more Bond films? And I think that's a healthy question. I wish more studios would ask.
Right.
Do we need more Spider-Man movies?
Do we need more Terminator movies?
Yes.
No, we do not.
Right. The answer is no, or resounding no. So of course they'll make more Bond movies or whatever, but even if they just for a brief minute thought, well, what do we do next? And do we need Bond? And do we need Bond as we've always known him? I think that's a healthy question to ask for any storyteller, right? Whether it's a multi-billion-dollar corporation or somebody making a documentary about a James Bond podcast.
Yeah. I think it would have been, it would have left their options open if they instead at the end, and granted they're not necessarily married to these 4 words in the credits.
They are.
But if they had said 007 will return, and then they could have rebooted next time, or I think bringing, was it Nomi? Nomi back. I mean, I think she was awesome. I would love to.
She's great.
Be still in this universe and have Nomi be the lead of a series of 007 films. Why not?
I would be all on board for having Nomi be 007. I love how they set up her character as, kind of M's darling and the rule follower type agent, right? And sort of recognizing the advantages of what Daniel Craig does, but it's also like highly critical of what he does, right? She like it wasn't like she backed down or understood, but it was mutual, and like there was a nice friendship there developed at the end. I felt like it was a good way to like honor the past and honor what the Bond was that we have known through all these years, and while also introducing like a new concept for 007 that could live in the 21st century.
Yeah. I liked how she was kind of poking at Bond when he shows up at MI6, and Bond didn't really seem to care. She was like, "Does that bother you?" And he's like, just kind of, he doesn't care at all. He's more annoyed he's back than he cares that she has his number.
Right. I love that. That whole meeting, like when he strolls into the place and it's the 2 007s walking side by side and he gets called in before her and everything, that exchange. It's just, it's a funny moments without it being like a Sheriff Pepper type scene or something that's very childish or whatever that we've seen in Bond throughout the years, like to get a quick laugh.
Right.
Like it's smart humor.
Yeah. I think I only have one complaint about this movie, and it's a stupid thing.
Only one.
Only one.
Well, of course it's stupid.
I found James Bond's wardrobe lacking several times. Like at one point, he's wearing like that
lacking as in like
that thermal Henley type shirt. I'm like, why is he wearing that? With a weird big corduroy coat over it. I'm like, I don't understand this.
He's a style icon, Carlin. Come on. I'm trying to remember all of his outfits. That's not something I usually pick up on. Yeah, I can't. I don't know how much input I have on that.
That's fine.
Other than
it's a stupid complaint. It's not even that big of a complaint.
I think part of it is like Daniel Craig is older, right? And although he is like obviously fit, and
Yeah.
well taken care of his body. I actually thought he looked younger than he did in Skyfall, right? Because Skyfall had, in my opinion, the perfect plot for like a final James Bond or a final like Daniel Craig film, right? So that's why I was so disappointed like when Spectre came out and redid all that nonsense. Anyway, but he looks young, but he's obviously not, like in his 50s with women in their 20s or whatever. So kind of not that he didn't have moments of like sex appeal, because I think there are like obviously moments with whether it's them making love or him with the shirt off, whatever. But he's also like it's a different way of showing like a man can be sexy by like dressing nice or stylish, and there's something, but without it being like a tuxedo. 'Cause
Right.
we always see James Bond in tuxedo. That's the cliche. But like, how can James Bond be sophisticated and still have sex appeal by dressing nice? And whether or not that came off as kind of like, why is James Bond wearing this, or not?
Yeah, I'm sure Janice will send you a letter based on my complaining about his wardrobe. So I don't know if we need to really belabor this issue.
Oh, I think we do. No, we don't. You're right, we don't. I'm trying to think if I had any distinct complaints. Okay. One of my complaints about the films is that although I loved Rami Malek's mask, the look of the mask, because it was creepy as all get out, I don't think it was ever really explained, right? Like the point of the mask.
No, I don't think it was.
Other than his face having whatever complication or effect on it, which I thought was really well done. It was a production design element that wasn't really explained, but it kind of falls back into what we talked about in that I didn't really need anything explained to it other than he's got a deformity, he's wearing a mask, albeit maybe not the most transparent mask that he could see through and be able to walk around in, and it's also like shatters and it's breakable. It's like, what's going on? And maybe I missed a clue about like why the mask. Like I never really picked up on it.
I don't remember there being a full-blown reason. Like, I think there was some line explaining, like, it's, like, what kind of mask it was, but why he was wearing it, I don't remember an explanation. But I've only seen this movie once, and I'm not yet, I'm a James Bond expert, but I'm not yet an expert on this particular movie. I'll get there. I'll get there once I get the movie on Blu-ray.
Well, once it's part... A Blu-ray. Well, once the game is included in the newest 007 Scene edition, then we can prove that we're experts, right?
Yeah. It takes time to get there.
Yeah, once they actually put 007 Scene on Blu-ray,
Or
then we talk about it. 4K ultra high def. Once we can stream it in 4K. Right. Then once it's an app on my phone, then we can talk about it. Maybe we should develop our own James Bond app where we can compete against each other while you're at work.
Yeah.
The Council of Mothers.
If I keep my job here,
and they say, Carlin, stop texting. You know, say I'm not texting. I'm playing 007 Scene It.
Yeah, that could happen if I keep my job. We'll see. I don't know if you remember this, Aaron, but back when Spectre came out, we did an episode about Spectre. And at that point, we locked in our dodgeball teams.
Yes.
And then
Dodgeball.
every subsequent episode we did, we were like, well, let's just pick somebody from the comic or from the fan film, but we won't actually put them on the team. But I think because this is an actual official Bond movie, we have to open the team back up and play dodgeball and pick somebody from the dodgeball team or from this movie for our dodgeball teams.
You're right.
And so I think we're at that point.
Did we? I don't remember who left off. Who picked last. or the order?
I don't remember, but I mean, if you're willing to let me go first.
I'm willing to let you go first.
Okay. So I'm going to recap.
I honestly didn't watch the movie with dodgeball in mind, which is I guess so. Call me out. I might not have a good choice here.
How could you not watch this movie?
It's been 6 years since the last Bond film, since our last dodgeball pick.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to recap who I've got on my team. I have Boris from
I am invincible.
From GoldenEye. I have Solitaire from Live and Let Die. I have Oddjob from GoldenEye. I have Malaka, who is the parkour guy from Casino Royale. And then I have Silva's helicopter from Skyfall. Plus I have Timothy Dalton Bond, Sean Connery Bond, Pierce Brosnan Bond, Daniel Craig Bond, and I have Earth 2 Sean Connery Bond from Never Say Never Again.
Right.
That's my team.
Which is the best Bond on your team, by the way. Earth 2 Sean Connery, when he was old as all get out,
right,
is your best Bond.
So for my team, I am going to actually axe Earth 2 Sean Connery Bond. He is off the team, Earth 2 Sean Connery Bond.
What?
And I'm replacing him.
Oh boy.
With the ship at the end of the movie that fires all the missiles onto the island.
The ship?
Yeah, the ship. The entire ship. The British naval ship that fires all the missiles. They're going to fire out 50 dodgeballs that are all going to split into 50 more dodgeballs, and they're going to rain on your team.
You think you
Good
shoot
luck with
dodgeballs.
that, Aaron.
Okay. Is this because I have a shark on my team? Is this because I have a boat on my team? You have to have all of a sudden another boat.
I already have Silva's helicopter.
You don't even have water. Your boat's just going to be stationary.
Doesn't need it. All I need is to be able to shoot 50 dodgeballs out.
Oh, okay, but you won't be able to dodge any maneuvers. I think this is a bad choice. This is you're going to be a sitting duck. But worse than that, because you won't even be able to move.
It could be a problem. It could be. But I feel like it's a good strategy to have.
Okay.
All right. Do you need the list?
Do I need the list?
Yeah, do you want the list of who your team?
Oh, no. I know my team.
Okay.
I got Q.
Uh-huh.
Which is Q in general. All Q.
But I mean, it's probably
got
Desmond
Fatima
Llewellyn. You got Desmond Llewellyn's Q. That's who you got.
Well, no, we didn't differentiate the different. We only differentiated the bonds.
I know, but like when you say Q, that's who I still picture in my head.
Well, okay, well that's you.
Okay.
That's you. I mean, maybe we should. Should we separate these different characters? These different actors?
No. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Okay. Well, okay. So I had Q. I had Fatima Blush. I had Roger Moore Bond, who was my only Bond, the only Bond I ever needed, because he does the least amount of work, physical exertion, and he gets hurt the least amount. So he's by far the best Bond, because he's the most confident and the most, well, he surrounds himself with more qualified people. I've got Mishka from Twin Knife. He's Twin Knife Thrower number 1.
Right, from, I believe that's the, that's Octopussy, I think?
Octopussy.
Yeah.
From the circus. Right? And I've got the octopus from Octopussy.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely dangerous team member. So many hands.
Yeah.
So many balls thrown out at once. It pretty much negates your battleship.
But I think as you keep reading, you'll see that we need to have water in our dodgeball court.
No, I have water in my court, as established in prior episodes, from my shark in the shark tank. I have a shark tank with a shark, which the octopus would also be in. Which also I have a stealth boat on my team. Right. From Tomorrow Never Dies.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Necros from The Living Daylights as a good henchman character. And I've got Nick Nack, which is just, like, obviously. Like, how could I not have Nick Nack on my team?
That's good. That's good.
And then I've got Wet Nelly, the Lotus Esprit S1, which also works in the water.
Yeah.
So it would be in the water. So I have a very water-based team.
You
and
do.
here you are trying to I don't know, what compensating because you don't have water. So you bring in a giant battleship, which won't even fit on the court, first of all.
I don't know if
I have my stealth boat, maybe.
there's a lot
But
of
my
stuff.
stealth boat has just as many, if not more, missiles than your destroyer. Your battleship. So I don't know. I feel like you're just now entering the game, but now you without water. So
I
that
know,
you're,
but I press one button and there's like 50 dodgeballs raining on you. So good luck with that.
okay, fine, good.
Okay, so what are you doing?
The question is, do I really want to get rid of any team member? Whereas you had multiple bonds, albeit you got rid of your best bond, which is tempting to pick up Earth 2 Sean Connery.
All right, he would be available.
It's really tempting. I'm looking at other team members that you've gotten rid of over the years. Like you got rid of the shark, right? I picked up the shark immediately.
Yeah.
You got rid of Bambi. I mean, Bambi's great. Cigar Girl.
I got rid of Cigar Girl.
Like QK is not a fan of yours right now.
I'm not a fan
my
of
team
2K.
members I've gotten rid of. Excellent. You know, we see that Aston Martin, which has been on my team before. We see it in this film, and in a great scene, right?
Yeah.
Bulletproof to the max. I could put all my characters into that car, and you wouldn't be able to touch them. You wouldn't be able to break through. I don't care if you have a
But the
battleship.
ball would hit the car, and the car would be out, and then your characters would either be out with the car, or they'd have to get out of the car, and then they would be exposed to my team.
So all you have to do is to hit. Your ball has to hit. So all I have to do is throw a ball at your battleship, and it's out.
Well, good luck.
Like I can't miss it. I can't miss it. Listen, I just thinking briefly about these characters in this movie, like actual characters, and not the battleship. I'm thinking about like the virus itself. Right. I'm thinking about the weapon used in. Is it in Cuba? When they're in Cuba. Is that the party, right? Where
Yeah,
I could
that was in Cuba, right.
DNA isolate which characters do I want to die and which
that would be a
characters do I
problem.
want
That could be
to survive.
That
so
could
I
be a problem.
So I'm talking myself into it. Is that I'm gonna bring in what's his name? What's the professor's name? Valdo?
That would be
The scientist.
I'm
Gorbachev?
looking it up. This is very this is a great
Unprofessional of us. I think it's Valdo, right?
Yeah, Valdo Oberchev.
Okay. Valdo and his virus machine is who I would pick here.
I'm okay.
Right?
That's
Assuming he comes with his virus machine, which is maybe you would debate me on that. Just like James Bond, we assume comes with his Walter PP7.
I mean, the question is, does my odd job have his hat?
Well, of course.
Yeah. So probably yeah.
So I think the best choice here is Dr. Orbachev.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a great. I thought I had you with the battleship. But man, you
But here's the question: I can't take out your non-human characters here,
right? Yeah.
so I can't take out your helicopter. I can't take out your battleship. But that's it. But I could program it so it leaves all my characters safe. So I think this is the clincher. This is the absolute winner here. So who do I want to get rid of? Oh man, I want to save my water theme. I only have one woman on my team right now with Fatima. Meanwhile, you have Solitaire.
Right, and so the great thing about Solitaire is that she's going to see all this coming, and she's going to let us know. She's going to be like, "Hey, Aaron's team
but in
has
slow
just got the
motion with their
virus."
cards.
So like,
Oh, this is tough. Because I feel like I need Q on my team to keep Orbachev in line.
yeah,
Right? I need somebody smart, intelligent, technologically advanced. So I got to keep Q. I've loved Knick Knack on my team, just because he's stealthy, and he'll slip past you, and you just don't see him coming. But I feel like I'm gonna get rid of Knick Knack.
whoa! I didn't see that coming. I definitely did not see coming.
I mean, he in terms of the dodgeball court, he's a little bit. He's not as quick. He's not as quick as I wish he was. So, I'll take Knick Knack out, and I'll put in Dr. Orbachev.
All right, there we go. And I think we should just lock them in again. That's the new.
Okay,
That's the new
lock 'em
team
in.
locked in.
Sorry for taking so long to think about that, but I kind of talked myself into it.
No,
I think I got the best. I think I've got the winner right there.
That was a great. I mean, I don't know about the winner. It'll be something for the dodgeball court to decide.
Right, of course.
But we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
I thought you were going to go with Cyclops. Right? Like he throws his eye, like has a dodgeball as an eye, and you could like spy on my team and different things like that. Right?
Yeah, I mean that's something maybe for another time.
You can rethink things.
Right.
Once your battleship is taken out in the first 2 seconds.
Yeah, once I find out the battleship was the wrong way to go.
Yes, absolutely. Oh man, I just got to go back to the fact that we had I was waiting for the boat makeout scene, and then we had the antithesis of the boat makeout scene, and like one the fact that we are keeping track of our boat makeouts, right, and that we had a third of the movies,
About
a third of the movies ended on a boat makeout, which is an incredible percentage for any movies, particularly like one from the same franchise. But I don't, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that was intentional. Like the filmmakers, the writers, listen to our podcast and are like, "What's something that will blow Carlin and Aaron's minds, where they think they're gonna get a boat makeout, and we give them the opposite."
right.
Yeah.
So
Since we're already talking about boat makeout, do you want to jump right into our what tier you would put this in?
Yeah, I when I came into this discussion a few minutes ago, when you finally got me to break and admit once again, be honest, because honesty is our policy, and I turned my back on honesty there for a while. So I'm glad that you helped me off that ledge, Aaron. I appreciate that.
Finally.
I was kind of coming into it thinking, as I was watching it, like I was thinking a middle tier movie. I think I was thinking that.
Me too.
But as we've discussed, and as I've gotten a chance to talk about James Bond again, and that's all we've done here these last few minutes is talk about James Bond and nothing else. I kind of I want to see it again. Like I think this is a movie that's definitely rewatchable. Like I want to sit down with all 5 Craig movies, spend a Saturday, watch them all back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
And And I don't feel like I would at all dread the almost 3 hours of movie that this is. I feel like this is something that I would look forward to. Again, it's got a good ending. You know, it's a good solid ending. Something that not every movie or franchise can even really accomplish. And so I think I'll go ahead and slide this just into the top tier.
Oh. I don't know if I was expecting that.
I think that's where I'm going to put. Just like, you know, it's not the top of the top, but it's, you know, it's just into the top tier.
Just there.
Yeah.
Right? Just it's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad.
It's not too top. Not too top heavy. Okay. Yeah, I think after Spectre, you know, I'm looking back at our ratings, and we both put Spectre in our top. Of course, we recorded that the day after seeing it, or was
the
it
the day of?
The day of.
Yeah.
We watched it. We recorded our episode, and I put it in my top. I think I was right in the high. Of seeing James Bond, and I retroactively I would put Spectre more in my middle.
Mm-hmm. I think I would too.
It's a solid middle tier film. So I've done this before. I've crossed out a film. Back in episode 004, World Is Not Enough, I crossed out the bottom and I put it in my middle. Talked myself into it. I'm putting Spectre in my middle so that it's been 6 years. And like you, I mean, it's been a long 6 years. There's a lot of anticipation for this movie. In any Bond movie, let alone a Bond movie that's had its release date pushed back several times. So that when this movie came out, knowing that it was Daniel Craig's last, and there was a good chance that James Bond would die or they would move on with the character. There's a lot of pressure, right? There's a lot of things that this movie had to accomplish. And yes, with 3 hours, but still 3 hours is not a whole lot of time given like the complexity of what they had to establish and conclude. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I thought it was Daniel Craig's best acted. I thought it was beautiful cinematography, beautiful action. Cast all around was excellent, and it is a solid top tier film for me.
Nice. I'm also looking back at some of the movies that I have in my all the rankings that I have, the different movies where I've placed them, and one of them I think is worth mentioning again. We don't have to get into the movie itself.
Quantum of Solace, right?
No.
Changing your mind about Quantum of Solace?
No. I don't want to bring that up again because of what happened before. I'm talking about one we did. Another one we definitely disagreed on, and that was on Her Majesty's Secret Service, and it's worth talking about that one now.
Listen, we already have 3 podcasts dedicated to that movie.
Because
you really want to bring this back?
I bring it up because that was one where I have that in my top, you have it in your bottom. That's fine.
Yeah.
What is important is I think that if I'm going to have that movie in my top, and I don't have No Time to Die in my top, that's a problem because this movie does that better than that did it.
No Time to Die does it better than On Her Majesty's.
That's what I'm saying.
Are you saying nobody does it better?
And obviously there was definite. I mean, pulling in the "We Have All the Time in the World" line and pulling in that music, it's definitely saying, "Hey, this is a modern version of On Her Majesty's Secret Service." And with the twist being instead of Tracy, the woman getting killed, it's Bond getting killed, and we end with
and she's in the car at the end with their daughter.
I think this was a great for me. If I would have said this was the middle, that would have been betraying. I would have been wrong. That would have been me being wrong.
I too recognized a lot of the connections between On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and I thought it was so much. Well, like you said, it was a better version of it, or at least it felt like the big emotional moments landed right with more time, and obviously when you have a cinematic universe sort of established, It's a bit easier. And for that reason, I thought it was a lot better executed than something like that. For example, I think it makes sense to the sort of harken back to that film for those reasons, and why On Her Majesty's Secret Service before No Time to Die stood out as an oddball movie. Right. I get it's from the source material, and I just recently reread On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and I like the book, and I like everything that's done with that. But it was an oddball movie at the time, not only because of that, but because of the casting choice and different things like that. But this is like the opposite of that, right? Because it's a long established Bond actor coming in and making it new and excelling in it.
Yeah, no,
And maybe I would feel different if it was Sean Connery in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Maybe. I don't know.
I still think looking at You Only Live Twice and how Connery was just totally checked out of that movie, and even to some extent Thunderball, I just can't see Connery having done well in On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Right. In best case scenario, if he was good, right? If he is as good as we know Sean Connery can be, yes. But I agree. By that stage, he was pretty checked out, which is also was one of my fears for No Time to Die, because I thought Spectre was not the greatest film. I didn't think Daniel Craig's performance in the film was all that great, because it was less about him and it was more about like establishing this world and the villain and all these things that were not about Bond and everything I loved about Skyfall. But they got back to like giving him like really powerful scenes and really good moments in No Time to Die. So I'm glad he didn't phone it in. I'm glad the writers like did a proper send off with him, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it easily could have he could have been just checked out. I'm doing this that makes some money, because he's getting quite a bit of money, right?
Right.
By coming back and doing another Bond film. And he's been an actor that's been off and on about, does he like being Bond? Does he hate being Bond? Is he critical of being Bond? Does he want to do other things? I mean, it's a negotiating tactic, but it's also like, I get it. Like he's a British actor, and actors are fickle in terms of like what they want to do and not repeating the same story over and over and over again.
Yeah, that's completely fair. I mean, and he is at this point, granted, he didn't do as many films as Roger Moore or Connery, but he is the longest running as far as a period of time Bond, right. And so that's a lot of time being Bond. It's a lot even when you're not filming the movie, it's a lot of time when like you're going out there, or going to talk shows or whatever, of being James Bond. And so it's perfectly fine to move on. He's got the new franchise that's going to be perfect for him to move on to. The what is that? Well, the one it's got what's her face who was in this one. Well, I don't know if she'll be in all of them, but
what's her face?
What's the movie?
Knives Out.
It's
Knives Out.
Yeah, Knives Out. Because it's not James Bond.
Yeah.
I don't know it. He's got the Knives Out stuff.
Right, the Rian Johnson franchise, and
yeah,
it's hip. Knives Out is hip. There's a lot of like when Knives Out came out, it was a very like meme friendly film. I didn't think Knives Out was bad or anything. I enjoyed it, but it's people were like blowing it up like crazy. And it's good. It's good to see. Like I thought, Daniel Craig is great in that movie, right?
No, yeah. I'm not looking to start a Knives Out podcast with you, man.
No,
I'm just saying, like, I'm glad that Daniel Craig, like, they've announced they're going to make more of those Knives Out movies.
Yeah,
and that's great. Like, he can just walk in. He can walk into a house. He can look around. He doesn't have. There's not going to be any injuries, hopefully, from stunts. He can just kind of walk in, kind of talk in a
you say that now.
Accent.
You just jinxed him.
Do a Foghorn Leghorn impersonation. Look around and be like, I know who did it, and then go to the next movie.
He's been a good enough actor without the Bond films that like I guess he's resisted being pigeonholed into a certain type of role, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And his entire career, like pre-James Bond and then even all these years during it, he's been very inventive with the roles he picks and how he portrays them. I was just thinking back, even like his funny cameo in The Force Awakens, right? Like he's just, I think he's got a good sense of humor about it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be curious to know what he does from here on out, and doing things that are more age appropriate and not so big scales. Because I mean, like I knew Danny Craig before James Bond as like doing a lot of indie films, and like some things that really showed his acting chops.
Like Tomb Raider, like in Tomb Raider, right? That's what you're talking about.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
That's the first thing. That's the first thing I think of. Tomb Raider's absolutely. Was he in Tomb Raider? I don't even remember.
Yeah, he's in
Yes,
the
he
first
was.
Tomb.
Okay.
He's in the first Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider movie.
Oh my gosh. I forgot about that. Yes, more Tomb Raider movies. Well, the Tomb Raider reboot or remake came out however many years ago?
I don't remember, 3 or 4 years ago. They should bring Daniel Craig back for those.
Yeah, absolutely. if they make any more, get him with Alicia Vikander and make some more Tomb Raider movies.
Do that.
No, don't do that. Daniel Craig, don't do it. I know he's listening to us right now though. Like he's making career choices based on our input.
Probably.
Like all the filmmakers, right? It was Sam Mendes. Now it's Cary Fukunaga.
Get the boxes.
Well, it looks a little like they've got all their papers and stuff.
You should probably bleep out Carrie's last name.
I probably should leave that out.
Just so that Council Mothers.
They got well. Speaking of the Council of Mothers, they got a box. They're walking it over now. And oh boy, hey, hold on, Aaron. Yeah, I know.
Here's the box.
I know. I'm very sorry. I know. You know, sometimes you just kind of get emotional and you say things you shouldn't have. Right. Well, can I finish up my call before?
Are you asking
Okay.
for money?
Well, hey, Aaron, they're gonna actually terminate my
Yeah, go ahead and start.
employment here, so I need to say goodbye, and I don't know what this means.
You were ready to move on already, right?
Well,
You're ready to move on.
I was really hoping to last here for another few years till retirement. You know, it's gonna be like James Bond
Retirement, few years.
Yeah.
I mean,
so,
I know you're like 18 decades older than me.
like
but
20
easy.
something years. I was probably gonna just stick it out and get
is that a low end exaggeration?
become a little low in exaggeration. It's more like 23 years.
Carlin, can you
So, well, it's good to hear from you. If you see Scott or Alabama Dog or anybody, you know,
I'm happy you're back on the James Bond train. And by that I don't mean the Skyfall train where he gets shot.
oh yeah, that I don't want to be on that train at all.
But if you're on,
All right, let's.
yeah, I'm glad you're back on the
Yeah,
James
I'm
Bond
almost
train.
done. I'm almost wrapping up. So,
To donate.
oh, okay, I'll ask him. Hey, before we get out there, I wanted to know if you wanted to donate any to the Council Mothers, and it could be any department. I mean, obviously here we're excited about refrigerators, but if there's another department you want to see your funds go to.
No.
Okay. Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't. Okay, they say I got to go. So.
What they just fired you. You can stay on.
No,
yeah, I guess you got to go.
They got
they're taking your phone.
Oh, hey, they've grabbed me.
They're holding it
They've
right
grabbed,
now.
no, they just grabbed me. Okay, they're bye, Aaron, bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, Carlin.
I'm so glad he's going.